Police on the attack in Westmoreland as the parish most wanted is cut down. Post Mistress and Bartender executed. Man shot dead at schoolgate in Manchester while the Jamaica Reggae Boys misfire versus Cuba while D Cup and Manning Cup kicks off. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Westmoreland continues to be a hotbed of criminality and the police have gone on the attack to bring criminals in. 36-year-old Nicholas Fennell, otherwise called Skin Teeth, a farmer from Pullet Lane in Shrewsbury in Westmoreland, has been charged in connection with a shooting incident in his community on Tuesday, August 27. Fennell has been charged with wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, using a prohibited weapon to commit a felony. According to police, about 9:05, Fennell and another man had a disagreement during which Fennell opened gunfire, hitting the man in the abdomen. He was subsequently admitted to hospital where he was treated and released. A report was then made to the police and Fennell was pointed out during an identification parade and was subsequently arrested and charged on Thursday, September 5th. An 18-year-old man has been charged with several offenses following an alleged gun attack in Dunbar's River in Savlamar, Westmoreland. The man, Oyo Clark, a laborer, has been charged with shooting with intent, assault at common law, possession of a prohibited weapon, and using a firearm to commit a felony. According to police, at about 9 a.m. on August 22nd, Clark and a relative entered the home of the complainant and an argument developed. According to police report, during the altercation, Clark allegedly pointed a firearm at the man and threatened to kill him. The victim managed to escape unarmed and then made a police report. Clark was subsequently arrested and charged during a police operation, and his court date is now pending. Still in Westmoreland, the man known as Westmoreland's most wanted Carlington, Tommy Godfrey, is dead. In what is said to have been an altercation with the police on Friday morning, the 29-year-old was killed. In the course of the incident, a lawman was also shot and injured. Deputy Superintendent Sean J. Mitchell, the acting commanding officer for Westmoreland, reported that Godfrey was shot after he engaged the police in a targeted operation in Little London. Godfrey had been the focus of multiple operations in the parish, including cooperative cross-border operations, according to DSP Mitchell. On June 19 of 2015, Godfrey escaped from the Savlamar police lockup in Westmoreland, and he was wanted for murder, shooting with intent, and illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. 2 years later, the police recaptured him in Alexandria. And in 2020, Godfrey was among a group of men charged with being a member of the Kings Valley Gang, but they were freed after the judge ruled that the Crown failed to prove any of the counts in the indictment. DSP Mitchell insisted that the criminals are not welcome in Westmoreland or anywhere in Area 1. He urged citizens to support the police and to provide information about suspected criminals operating within their communities. And you can expect that will never happen. Over in Manchester, the police have confirmed that 27-year-old Cuthbert Lambert, the parent who was killed near the Christiana Moravian Primary and Infant School on Friday morning, had been out on bail in connection with the murder of a minor 6 years ago. Commanding officer for the Manchester Police, Deputy Superintendent Kerry Duncan, who was providing an update on the incident, said Cuthbert was reporting on condition of bail for the offense allegedly committed in 2018. And it is said that Lambert had just dropped off his 5-year-old stepdaughter when upon leaving the school compound, armed men opened fire, killing him at the scene. The police have determined that lottery scamming is behind the recent spate of murders in Christiana in Manchester. And it is said that several police operations were carried out on Friday morning following the murder of Lambert, and during that operation the police recovered several rounds of 9mm ammunition, also some lottery scamming paraphernalia, and one man has been arrested and charged so far. Still in Manchester, a man suspected to have been involved in Tuesday's double murder in Albion in Manchester was fatally shot in the neighboring community of Newlands during an alleged confrontation with law enforcement on Saturday morning. The man, whose formal identity is not yet known, was also labeled as a troublemaker by residents. Preliminary reports are that about 5:30 a.m. police went in search of the suspect at a house when they were fired upon. Police returned the gunfire, and during the ensuing shootout, the man was fatally wounded. And his death comes as a relief to his uncle Ainsley Swaby, who told reporters how the incident unfolded. He said the police go over there and reach the door. He said as soon as police reached the door, a shot blow. If the police never shift himself, he woulda get shot. Now them say them nah give him no chance, and from deso, them start send it pon him, said Swaby. He said his relatives had struggled to get the suspect to vacate a family property, leading to a land dispute which is now before the courts. Now that the police come and destroy him, the family and the community feel more comfortable. It's like everybody in the community was in fear of this man, said Swaby. And less than a month after her husband was murdered, a 43-year-old postmistress was gunned down outside her place of employment in Palmer's Cross, Clarendon on Thursday. The deceased is Debbie Ann Markland Barrett of Russell Lane in Palmer's Cross, and it's reported that about 11:30 a.m., Mrs. Markland Barrett was inside a bar in the same building as the post office when explosions were heard. Two men were reportedly seen running from the scene with handguns. The police were called and the victims were found with multiple bullet wounds to the head. And it is said she was a witness to her husband's murder last month, so the killers came back to silence her. On to sports, Jamaica Reggae Boys played out a 0-0 draw with Cuba in their opening Group B match in League A of the CONCACAF Nations League at the National Stadium on Friday night. The Jamaicans created numerous chances but were denied by the brilliance of the Cuban goalkeeper. And despite taking 21 shots at goal and having a one-man advantage for over 45 minutes, the national senior men's team failed to break down the Cuban defense. Mikel Antonio had the first shot on target in the 9th minute, but his close-range effort was comfortable for goalkeeper Reiko Arozarino. And he had another chance, which was arguably the best chance of the first half, when he latched onto Demario's great cross but found the woodwork. Jamal Lowe also had a great chance to put Jamaica ahead minutes later when he was one-on-one with Arozarino in the 6-yard box, but he failed to get any real connection with the ball. The second half started brightly, and 6 minutes in, Jamal Lowe again had the goal to himself after receiving a pass from Amari Bell, but somehow fired over the crossbar. And several more chances went a-begging as Jamaica controlled 73% of the ball, but just could not score. Next game is tomorrow when Jamaica face Honduras in Honduras. Jamaica's Women Premier League champion Fraser's Whip suffered a heavy 5-0 defeat to host Monterrey of Mexico on Thursday in the inaugural CONCACAF Women's Champions Cup. Marcelo Restrepo scored a double in the 51st and the 66th minute for Monterrey, and it was the second consecutive defeat for Fraser's Whip, who also lost their opening game 5-0 to Ala Jolentis of Costa Rica last month. And Fraser's Whip will next play Tigress on September 18th at the National Stadium. Meanwhile, on to schoolboy football. Reigning champions Mona High swamped Waterford High 7-0 to kick off their title defense in the Issa Manning Cup at the Montego Bay Sports Complex on Saturday. Carlton Brown notched a double with goals in the 5th and the 37th minute, and the contest was the lone game in the Manning Cup on the opening day. Now on to Doncaster Cup at the same venue in Montego Bay. Last year's champion Clarendon College defeated Denby High 2-1 in their Zone H Issa D Cup opener, while Cornwall College swamped Herbert Morrison 4-1. Elsewhere, Christiana trounced Troy High 8-0, while Happy Grove blanked St. Thomas Technical 3-0, and Port Antonio also beat St. Mary Technical 3-0. Champion Cup winners Glenmore hammered Kempshill 5-0, while it was a 0-0 draw between Old Harbour High and Fogar Road. Garvey Massio dubbed Winston Jones 7-0, while Cross Keys were a no-show for their encounter against Manchester High. Hollywood trounced Alston 4-0, Alfonso Davis beat Knox College 1-0, Belfield beat Mile Gully 2-1, Paul Bogle edged Yalas 1-0, Seaford beat Robert Lightburn 4-2, Veer Technical Walloporos 4-1, Port Antonio beat St. Mary 3-0, and today in Manning Cup we'll see Gensted clash with Tarrant, while it should be interesting when Charlie Summit go up against Jonathan Grant. And don't forget that we were the first in North America 19 years ago to start carry daily D Cup and Manning Cup to the rest of the world on various radio stations, and the beat will continue. And if you missed the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamaican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's news and sports on your favorite radio. My name is Mikey Bones. Have a wonderful day. I gone.